Okay, hey guys. So we have our contract ready. Now we need to set up some configuration in our hard hat config to deploy this contract. First of all, we need to set up one environment variable file .env. This will here we will set up some environment values which we will need. Okay, so what we will do here in the hard hat config, we will set up our environments or networks where we want to deploy. So in this for this tutorial, we will be deploying in Matic network. So let's go to network and Matic test. Let's deploy Matic test and the URL. We'll need two things to do this. First we need a URL where our hard hat should be able to connect to the Matic network. So for that we need an endpoint, and we'll also need a private key which we will be using, which account we will be using to sign the transaction to deploy this contract. So these two we will need to set up. For that we will be using Alchemy, Alchemy, Alchemy. Let's go to Alchemy, get started for free. Yay. I'll be using Google sign in. Yes, I'm a human. I can be an AI. Okay, let's go to apps. I have some apps ready here. So what I will do, learn Web3. What I will do, I will create one new app here. We'll call it Web3 voting. Just code and chill tutorial. We'll need to use Polygon. What else is there? Polygon BOS, Polygon mainnet, or Polygon Mumbai testnet. And we'll create one. I have no idea what is this. We'll create a new app here. Web3 voting. And once we have this, we'll need to go here and we'll see the HTTPS endpoint, or this endpoint URL. So here in the URL we'll be using this, and this will be a string. And in the accounts we'll need to supply the one of our private account or one of our Matic account or crypto account, and we have to use the private key of that account. So to get the private key, you go to MetaMask. I have no idea why this is happening. Matic testnets always have this kind of problem. For some reason I am able to type my password and it is opening. Not sure if it is opening or not. Okay, it has opened, and we have our come on, what do you want from me? Let me try to remove this part. Display. Okay, so Chrome debugger tool is helped save the day. Okay, so what you will need, you can switch the network or you don't, doesn't matter. What you will need is select your account first. Once you have the account, go here, account details, and here export private key. Once you click the export private key, you will get the one value. I will not be showing that here, or you will get your private key, or you have to type the password here. Let me confirm. Okay, So once you it will reveal your private key, and once you get the private key, just go to your environment and type it here, account or something like this, account private key, or CRYPTO, wallet private key. That makes more sense. Wallet private key equals, then put your key. So I'll not be showing you any of my private keys in this, just in case I use it for any purpose. Not sure if I will ever be using this development to for any production use or any actual use, but still. So what we'll use, just put your private key in this section, paste it here, and just get this, save this file. And what you will do, go to config again and put your process.env then the variable name. It will show you that it is not defined because you have not set up your you have not, again, yeah, so you have not set up node type. So just type npm i @ty type/node. This will remove this error. And to make this trick work, you also have to set up okay, so this value can be present if you have not defined this variable, then it will be null. But this this hardhat config has to have a value. So for this, to make this to go well, just put a, in this case, in case the value is not present, it will just pass a blank and it will throw an error during deployment. That's a different case. So what we'll do to make this work, this environment file work, we have to install one library called .env. npm install.env, and we have to, in the top of the script, we just have to require this file, require.env, and then config. This will pull whatever value is there in this variable, in this .env file, and put it in the process.env. So we'll have this value ready. Now for some people, it is best to use this also as a variable. Put it as a alchemy one minute, put it as an alchemy API key equals, then the variable, put it here. Anyway, I'll be removing this this file, so this this project, so you'll not be able to use this API key anyway. And what we do usually is put it here and make it a tick sign and format the string with process.env and dot, then the variable name. What is the variable name? Which is alchemy API key, and put it here. Now you should not be committing this file to Git. If you are putting your repo in GitHub, this file name should always be in the gitignore, so that you don't commit your secret keys to publicly in the GitHub or some version control and lose access to your contracts. Now we have all the setups ready. In the meantime, I will just put the value here. Okay, so now we have is ready. What we need to do here is to deploy it. Let's see what we can do to deploy. So first we need to do npx compile. Let's do npx compile. This will compile your contract and create some artifacts which will have the contract ABI and JSON and lots of other stuff, and will also create one tie chain for your contract so that we can use it in our front end. now we'll write the deployment script. So in this section we have a section called script folder. We have a folder called script, and we have a deploy.txt. In this we have some sample contract deployment, but which used to deploy the lock contract, but we don't need that. What we will need is, we don't need any of this. Okay, so we don't need this. What we need is Web3 voting, and there is no, so here if there is any argument in our constructor, we will be passing it in this section, but we don't have any argument, so this will be blank. Okay, and there should not be any value, and we have our Web3 voting. Web3 voting contract. Let's see this. Yeah, this looks good. So because we are seeing this Web3 voting type, that means we have selected the correct one. Let's make it small w for convention. Wait for the deployment. Once the deployment is done, we'll Web3 voting, we'll call it deployed to Web3 voting target. So this will give you the where it has deployed, exactly which address our contract has been deployed to, and if there is any error, we'll just console log this error. What we'll do here is, now we'll call this deployment script. So npx hard hat, let's copy this one, put it here, and hardx run script deploy. Let's run it, see what happens. Okay, we have deployed the script. Let's see, it's fast. Polygon testnet testnet and scan. So we have Polygon scan testnet. Let's put the address here and enter. And if you see, let's close this one. Okay, so what happened here is I forgot to put a flag that we want to deploy our contract to Matic network. So this is the network that without this, it will just deploy it it will create one local network temporary, and it will deploy it there. I am not sure exactly where it has been deploying, but I think that's where it is deploying. So if we want to use our network that we have configured here, it should will be using this particular network flag and mention the network name that we have written here. So what will happen here is I'll just remove, we don't need this. Let's deploy it again, and so our previous code was good enough for this to work. .target. Let's run this again. So Matic testnet is a little bit slow. Okay, we have a deployment address. Let's go here and we'll put the deployment address. a contract address. Okay, so this is our contract. Let me just page. Okay, I'm not sure. There was something wrong with that with the string. So now we have searched it. It is like this is the contract and this is the address of the contract, and there is only one transaction that has happened, that is the contract creation. So if we go to this hash, and we'll see this is my FBAFB. So this is my account address, and this has created the contract, and this is the contract created. This is how much gas fee has been taken for this. Let's go back and see the contract. This is the compiled bytecode of the contract. If we decompile it, not sure we will compile it, but let's see. The first decompilation of this contract requires to submit or 30 seconds. So it will take 30 seconds to refresh. Let me check if it's decompiled. So this is an experimental feature that we have proposed. Okay, so this is the compiled, this is the optimized code. So we have the function def, we have the candidate. So this is a bytecode decompilation. This will not be exact how you have written because we are using lots of abstraction, and this is the very low level code decompilation that we have done. What people usually do, we can submit our contract code to we can submit our contract code to this particular Polygon chain, and they will be able to compare it, and once they see that it's valid contract, verify and publish option is there, they will publish the contract code in this area. Okay, that is outside the tutorial of the scope of this tutorial, so we'll not go into that section. Now we have our contract deployed. We can use this address and call this contract from our front end. So in the next video we'll be doing that, and we'll also be using and if you see in the type chain, we have some types created for our ABIs and our voting contract param. So there are a few types that has been created that will be very useful if you want to whenever we are using this in our UI. Okay, so bye bye.